So I'm going to take us on to our first speaker. He has spearheaded Creative Mornings Dubai team for 7 years. He is an award-winning communications professor, podcaster, radio host, event organizer. As a member of the team, I can tell you personally, he is the most energizing, motivating leader you could wish for. And if you need a Hawaiian shirt, please call James Piecowye. Put your hands up for James Piecowye.
Hey!
Yay!
All right. Well, I've got to say, thank you very much for that. And this is the most terrifying talk I've ever had to do. I was up all night thinking about this. So I thought very long and hard about what do I want to share and what are some of the basic things that I've been learning about myself over the last month and a half. And really, I came down to 3 core things. And those 3 things are, 1, that we're in this infodemic. And it's not just a health issue, it's an information issue. And what I was thinking about was, hold on a second, what's going on around us? And I realized that everything I'm reading and everything I'm seeing takes me right back to Neil Postman, NYU professor. He's passed away, but his book that was absolutely mind-changing for me, Entertaining Ourselves to Death. And his whole thesis was the news, the media is this giant entertainment machine that's full of information you cannot do anything with. So why are you spending so much time thinking about it when really you need to be concentrating on the things that you can actually do? So my first thing that I realized was I got to be really selective about what I'm consuming and what I'm thinking about and what's influencing my thoughts. And as soon as I did that, I instantly felt so much better because I could think, what do I need to do? Wash my hands. What do I need to do? Social distance. Can I change what's going on in Greece? No, it's interesting, but I can't change it. Can I change what's going on in the US? No. So first thing, think about what you're consuming. Think about how you're consuming it. And for me, it all came back to Postman and the role of the media and understanding what the media does. The second thing that I've learned about myself is that we're more alike than different. And as we know, I do some podcasting and I spend a lot of time talking with a really good friend who's 20 years my junior, Dr. Jenna Burton. And Jenna and I will talk about all sorts of crazy medical things. And then I realize as we talk about the fact that she's doing singing, as we talk about how she's raising her boys, as we talk about how she does her job, we're so similar. And yes, we're different genders. And yes, we have different occupations. And yes, we're different ages. And yes, we're from different parts of the world. But man, we're so much alike. And if you just listen to people around you, you start to realize, we're less dissimilar than we are similar. So my second point was listen to people. So 1, ignore a lot of the news. Only listen to the stuff you can do stuff with. 2, listen to people. And 3rd, every little thing counts. My 3rd thing I've learned, and this actually comes from a conversation that I had with this fantastic gentleman, Patrick Kozakovich. Now, you might say, I never heard of the guy. Well, Pat is a wellness expert at IBM International. And every time I talk to Pat, I just kind of sit there and go, really? This is so awesome. And Pat always, or Patrick, I've never actually called him Pat. So Patrick, he always has these stories, a lot like my good friend, Michael Ogden, who has coyote or raven stories, or the crow, but the coyote. So he's always got Mr. Coyote stories. Well, Patrick also has stories, and what he shared with me the other day made me remember every little bit counts. And he shared this story about this father and daughter walking on the beach. And they're walking on the beach, and there are all these starfish have rocked up on the beach, and they're withering, and it's thousands of them. I mean, it looks horrendous. It is just, what are we going to do? What can we do? And the father looks and goes, oh, this is a disaster. This is really a disaster. We've got such a problem on our hands. There's nothing we can do about it. And the little girl looks up at her dad and she says, Dad, And she leans down and she picks up one of the starfish and she throws it back in the water. And the father says, what are you doing? And that's not going to do anything. Why are you doing that? And she goes, it might not do anything, but it's helping that one starfish, and every little one counts. And so when I think about what's going on in my mind right now, and I think about how we're processing things, I really came to realize that there's all sorts of things going on, and we need to just think more about ourselves. We need to realize that everything we do matters. Every little thing we do, staying at home, calling up a friend, sending someone an email, it matters. It matters that we're so similar when you start talking to people, and it matters to think about, what am I consuming in our media, and what's it doing to my head, and does it really matter? So I kind of dial back a little bit. So for me, those three things have defined how I'm living in this period. And you know what? Look at the smile. I think it works. Kat, on to you.
We give James a big hand wave, please. James, are you getting the love? Are you getting the love?
I am getting the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That is awesome. I didn't even get a chance to play my Justin Bieber to you. I was going to be, I'm sorry.
I had the clock on. There was absolutely no way I was going to let that alarm go off.
Damn you. It's the only power I have around here. Man, James, that was awful. Infodemic should now be trending around the internet, thanks. Or James's brain bath is the other one that's trending.
Hold on, I don't want to take any of the credit for the infodemic. World Health Organization came up with that term about 5 days ago. But hey, you know what? If you want to give it to me, I'll take it.
Are we in the age of responsibility around, stealing stuff from other people? No. Okay. I really resonated with what you said. I'm sure we're going to hear from other people later on. I'm thankfully working from home. Young child, homeschooling, member of my husband's out. He's a vital worker. I've got a lot going on, like everybody in the audience. We've all got our own set of challenges. And that's just this stream of crap coming at me of what I should be doing and how I should live my life. So you just beautiful. That was really, really resonated. I'm going to hand over to Shivani. Shivani is taking comments and questions from the audience. Shivani, tell us what's going on. Questions for James, please.
Okay, so it's been really great because so many people from all over the world are asking questions. So, James, the first one is from Yijun from Shanghai, and he wants to know, what's your daily routine now comparing to before?
So, again, I work from home, but my routine hasn't really changed a lot. I mean, in some ways, I listen to one radio program in the morning, and that's The World at 6 with Susan Bonner from Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I look at the World Health Organization report. I make a juice. I have an espresso. I start my classes. And then I do yoga in the afternoon. That's my day pretty much. And the real big piece is to remember to turn off the media and to get away from my screen and to get away from my phone and to get away from all of the socials because there's just too much information. So that's my basic day. And it's tough because you want to be on the socials, but I have strict limits.
Okay. Sorry. My bad. I want to send an apology to Yujun. Yujun is a woman. The second question, James, is from Maha from Dubai, who wants to know, how do you decide what to shut down and what to take in information-wise?
So the first thing I do when I shut down is anything that is basically rumor or it doesn't have firm support, scientific evidence behind it, I just don't listen to it. I don't watch it. I don't take it in. So I'm really, really very picky on what I look at. And even with the socials, I just don't spend a lot of time in there right now because I'm not interested in the rumors and I'm not interested in the speculation. And so that it means being very rigid, and sometimes you want to look at stuff, but I find it just corrosive, and it's endlessly consuming if you start taking in all of this hypothetical information. So I just ignore it all. And as I said, I really stick to World Health Organization, the daily situation report, and I listen to the World at 6 with Susan Bonner, and that's about it. And then I look at the national because I want my local news because that's something I can do something with. But that's my news consumption in the day right there. And the rest of it, I don't look at.
Can we have credibility is like number one?
Yes.
We've got time for one more question, Shivani.
Okay, so the last question is from Allison, who's tuning in from her bed in Dubai. And she wants to know, do you feel more connected to the planet these days?
Yes. I think I feel more connected to my colleagues. I feel more connected to people around the world, people I haven't spoken to in a long time. And I think that's one of those things that this whole thing has done. People I said, so like Patrick or others that I've wanted to talk to in a long time that I haven't. And suddenly we're connecting on services like this with Zoom. We're talking to people who we don't usually talk to. I feel way more connected, and it's actually pretty reassuring that so many people care and want to take that time just to say hello. So yeah, way more connected. And again, a side benefit of all this happening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. Thank you, Shivani.